am going to solder this to the Pixel Blaze. And while I'm doing that, tell us, Ben, you are a superhero of LED wizardry and colored lightning bolts shoot from your hands. What is your origin backstory? How did you get to be this person that you are today, where you basically get to play with cool LEDs all the time?
Oh,
So yeah, how did
o
you and how did you first get into STEM too? Like
oh,
I wanna know that story and the story of how you got to where you are today.
I was supposed to prepare for these questions, wasn't I?
No, you just tell me what happened. Tell me what
Uh,
went on in your life.
yeah. So, like, how did I get into STEM stuff? At
Yeah.
an early, early age, and I was super lucky that I had access to all kinds of cool stuff, so probably, like, the earliest things I can think of is, like, doing, like, those, like, weird, like, crystal grow kits that you could get, and you,
Yeah.
like, put, like, this, like, cardboard tree and paper and or, like, in a dish, and there's some water liquid or something, and then it, like, grows fuzzy, and I was like, "Wow, that's cool," but that's
We
all,
did
like
like string and we made rock candy
yeah,
and we ate it,
yeah, stuff
which was
like that.
horrible.
I mean, I
You
just
know?
love stuff like that, and
Yeah.
then I ended up getting, like, science kits,
Uh,
you know? And so I would, like, mess around with those and have access to those and electronics, and I got, like, I'm old enough that I had, like, access to the Radio Shack kits,
Mhm. Yeah.
and so I had, like, those, like, spring-loaded, like, 201, you got, like, transistors, like, sitting there, like, even some, like, 7400 series, like, integrated circuits or, like, D flip-flops or whatever, like, all that kinda crazy stuff, and just really just loved all that stuff.
Nice.
And,
And
like
like who would get those for you? Would it be your parents
yeah,
or
my
did
parents.
you okay.
So I
Did
was
they
definitely
kind of did either of your parents do something with STEM or and kind of like funnel you in that direction or were you just like, "Yo, I need this thing."
both of them were in the medical field, so I think that helped out, but, neither of them did anything with, like, computers or electronics or anything like that. But, yeah, I mean, they definitely gave me access to all that stuff
Nice.
to, shut me up. Like, "Oh, he just disappears and plays with this stuff for hours when we get him these kits. Let's get more of those."
Do it. Do it.
Yeah, so I messed around with all that kind of stuff, it was it was good times.
Nice.
I remember not knowing at all what I was doing, but it was fun, and I would experiment, and I would try things, and just didn't really have that, like,
I was gonna
fundamental
say that
background.
kind of how I feel today a lot of the times when I start on a project, I'm like, "Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I guess I better learn something, right?"
That's the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and always, like, been really curious about inventing things and wanted to, like,
Mhm.
make new stuff that didn't exist. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, fully agree.
And then I got into computers at a
Mhm.
pretty early age, like, had access to that. Not as much access as I'd wanted, but had access to that and just got, bit by that bug. Yeah, so, I mean, mainly at home and just having access to really cool, fun stuff is how I kinda got into it. Gosh.
So then, like, what did you do any I don't know, did you do any kind of activities in high school? Like, when you were around high school age, what did you have an idea of what you wanted to do? And,
What did
like
I wanna be when I grew up?
yeah, 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 yeah. Did you have a plan? Did you take classes, like, that were more computer focused and techie focused, purpose or
No.
yeah.
No, actually, it was terrible. And I lost access to most of that stuff later on.
Ah.
And then I said, "This is dumb." So I quit school and started going to college, which
Yeah,
was cool.
alright, yeah.
Yeah, I got out. I took a equivalency exam so I could
Mhm.
get like, technically get
So
out of
that
high school,
yeah,
and then took a couple of programming courses.
nice.
That was awesome. Just a little bit, but not a full workload or anything. It was a lot. It was pretty complicated stuff.
Yeah.
Learning nitty-gritty bits, but, it was really cool, and then I ended up by the time I was 17, 18, got sucked into the whole job of, like, working and, making money, and
Yep.
skipped the rest of the school stuff, basically.
Interesting, so you went to college for a few years when you were sort of high school aged?
A few quarters.
A few quarters? Ah, quarter system. And then you were just like, well, I could actually go out in industry and make money doing cool things.
Yeah.
Or was it out in industry, or was it just other things making money?
Yeah. So I got sucked into some volunteer work where I ended up becoming basically like a system operator for a lab.
Mhm.
And so I would take care of all the machines for folks and got really good with sort of like, just working on computers, making sure that they're working right, and got access to all kinds of fun software and did fun
Nice.
stuff like that. And then ended up getting a job rebuilding and refurbishing computers for a little while. And so, just knowing the inside guts of things, it just OS is inside now, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
And that was all right. And then I had always been into software, but never really done software professionally.
Mhm.
And then ended up jumping into that full time as a career,
Nice.
doing a transition sort of through some web stuff, some like
Mhm.
light coding through web stuff. And then just bam, like hardcore, like I'm hacking like, C kernels for like this crazy like operating system thing that's, running on like multiple platforms, and just exploded into that. It was so much
Wow.
fun. Tons of
That's
learning.
cool. How did that yeah, like, so did you have people who were mentoring you in your job, or was it just a lot of, like, self-taught learning, or
Both,
both? Yeah,
both, yes.
cool.
So mentoring, yes, but less so on the technical side, although I did
Mhm.
have really great people that I was working with that knew all kinds of awesome stuff. But I was very, very curious. And at that point in time, had taught myself how to teach myself,
Ah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is really the key thing. Like I
Yeah.
don't need, and that was part of why I had ended up quitting college, was there was a lot of other like life inconveniences about doing all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, driving for like an hour and a half to get there,
Yeah.
part of it. But it was like, wait a minute, like there's books, I'm in this class. You're just basically like teaching me the stuff that's in this book. I could read this book and bang my head against a brick wall until I figure it out. I'll just do that.
Sounds better than driving for 3 hours a day. Totally, totally. No, that's cool, and that's why I like asking people about their journeys, because, like, everybody is different, and so many people do not have, like, what we've been, you know, I'm not sure I wanna say taught, but I wanna say, like, we've been told, right, is the normal way of doing things,
Yes.
and yes, and I don't think that there is actually a normal way of doing things. So, you can get into STEM through a lot of different avenues, and so I like hearing how everybody's got into it.